Guys, we are back and we have the JJK Chapter 268 spoilers. I think this might be the chapter we've all been waiting for, so let's just get right into it. The chapter starts off with a side-by-side of Megumi and Sukuna, and it's Sukuna talking to Megumi's soul as he's really digging into him. How dare you try to live on? You let your body be taken over by me, you killed your own sister, and even rejected a hand that was offered to you. Just give up. You can no longer live a quiet life. Let me handle the rest. Sukuna is really digging deep and trying to get Megumi back in the depths, but Megumi isn't having any of it. He's asking Sukuna, why are you so desperate? I mean, there's still one Sukuna finger left, right? So I'm guessing this is actually taking place either right before or during the last chapter, because Megumi goes on to explain that if they're able to peel Sukuna off of Megumi, it's going to wipe out the 19 fingers as well as the mummy head. Megumi goes on saying resonance is a bad match for Sukuna, because if the final finger is destroyed, it would be game over, because there would be no real way for Sukuna to anchor his soul to this world anymore. At least that's what I'm gathering from it. We'll have to wait for better translations or the official release if you trust John Weary. Hey guys, before we get too deep into the spoilers, if you're enjoying this video or any of my videos in general, please feel free to subscribe or like, or even just leave a comment. Any little bit helps as we're trying to grow the channel. Anyways, back to the spoilers. Thank you. We cut back to reality and we see Yuji's domain is crumbling and Sukuna's reincarnation is being undone. Our boy's body is returning to him. We get a really great double spread of Sukuna, the curse, screaming in agony as he's literally being peeled from Megumi. The next page is one of the most ironic Gege has ever drawn. We see a very much alive Yuji staring down at his uncle, who has taken on a pitiful blob shape. Honestly, he kind of reminds me of those things from the Naruto Shippuden epilogue chapter. I can't really remember what they're called, or even a baby Ten-Tails blob monster. Either way, the king is looking disgraced. Yuji, in full control, approaches Sukuna and asks him what he will do, as we get a flashback to when he told Sukuna that he would spare his life for Megumi back. Yuji pins down Blob Kuna and tells him, "You're me," which is a really powerful callback to Yuji's fight with Mahito. This is the second time in the series that Gege has really morphed Yuji into something more than he was supposed to be, and it's really great to see it happen. He picks up what's left of the fading Sukuna and tells him that they were both born bearing a curse. Him without knowing, but he was able to live his life out because he had his grandpa. He tells Sukuna, let's try one more time. Not to curse somebody, but to live with people. And if no one else accepts you, I alone could live with you. This nephew is really giving his uncle a pass, and it's kind of tugging at my heartstrings. Sukuna, now barely the size of Yuji's hand, still has enough aura to become enraged, telling Yuji not to underestimate him. But it's all for naught as he slowly fades away. The scene then shifts and we finally find out what was happening with Hakari's fight. Uraume realizes Sukuna has lost and Hakari asks them what they'll do now, but Uraume already knows what needs to be done. I already told you, it's the end. There's nothing to do now. Uraume tries to glaze Sukuna one last time, and they state the only logical reason Sukuna could have been defeated is because of that incarnated body. You were all just lucky. You were saved by being born 1,000 years too late. Hakari tells Uraume lucky is the highest praise he could receive, as they both smile and Uraume seemingly blows themselves up, smiling until the very end. Well, that is a loyal Sukuna glazer if I've ever seen one. But for reals, I think it's really sad we didn't get to see more of this fight in particular. I understand why we didn't. This last stretch of chapters has been just so jammed packed with fights left and right, and honestly, the only time I think Gege could have snuck in more of this fight would have been during that weird period when Gege got sick and he had almost a month break. So I can't blame Gege, I just wish we could have gotten more. The scene shifts to Megumi waking up as he catches Yuji and Nobara trying trying to set up a surprise. What are you two doing? Yuji and Nobara both say they were plotting a Kugasaki survival surprise, and Megumi apologizes for ruining their surprise. I really love the way they're all drawn because it looks like Megumi has a half smile, and it's great to finally get him back in the story. Nobara, on the other hand, is really giving Nobara vibes as she describes herself as the class's beauty or Madonna, and how they should be really thankful that she survived and maybe even crying out in joy. I really love how Gege is giving us those OG trio vibes. Yuji is Yuji and tells her he did cry a little when he realized resonance was being used, and Megumi says he wasn't surprised because he was able to see what was happening, at least in those moments, through Sukuna. That's when Yuji pulls out letters written by Gojo, and Megumi is surprised, and Nobara says, I feel you, this is totally not like him, it's slightly gross to even picture him writing them, and I have to agree, it's very much not like Gojo, but let's see what they say. Nobara gets her letter and reads a little before instantly crushing it, saying it was all a bunch of info on her mother's whereabouts, and Yuji chimes in asking, did you even want to know about her in the first place? Nobara responds, not at all, so that's one mystery I don't think we'll ever get an answer to, but let's keep going. Nobara asks Megumi if he received something super valuable in his letter, but he just begins to laugh, so Nobara and Yuji take a look at the letter and are left speechless. Megumi is laughing his ass off as we see the letter, and it says, unfortunately your father isn't around anymore because I killed him. Signed with Gojo's chibi signature, which honestly, I take back my earlier statement, this is the most Gojo thing that has happened in like the last 30 chapters, and I even started laughing initially when I read this, so props to Gege. I love that Gojo's character was redeemed in this last section. Nobara breaks up the happy moment by reminding them that they have to meet up with Maki and everyone else. She tells Megumi to go as well, and Yuji tells the group that he has to apologize and thank everybody. Megumi is confused about the apology part, so Yuji tells him that it's about Yuta. Oh no, Gege, is my boy dead? I really hope he's not dead. Yuji tells him that they have to save Yuta's life as we see Panda, Maki, Toge, Miwa, Kusakabe, and Momo as they hear, Yuta, you damn bastard. Megumi very sheepishly asks if this is what saving a life should sound like, and that's it. End of chapter. The editor's comment is Yuta alright? Only 3 chapters to go. So I totally think we're either gonna get some kind of rage final fight between Rika and everybody else, or a more comedic, let's get Yuta's body back from Rika, because if we think back to the last time we saw her, she was guarding Yuta's, we'll call it empty corpse. It could either go into a serious fight or a very comedic one. I personally feel like Gege might give us a more comedic Looney Tunes chase, something like that, but I could be wrong. Let me know down below what you guys think. Honestly, with this apparently being the end of the Sukuna fight, I only have a couple complaints. One being I wish we got more Hakari action, and I already spoke about that, so I won't go too deep into it, and the actual Sukuna dying part. I know this was super dragged out, and this final fight with Sukuna felt like it was taking forever, but I would have loved to have more of this section of the fight, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't need 20 chapters of people trying to defeat Sukuna, but I would have loved 1 or 2 more chapters of getting to know Sukuna as he's dying or is on his way out. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought. Yeah, I can't believe it's almost done, and I will see you next time. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know. All right, bye.